downtown where you can get a date for 50, 60, 70, even 80% off the original social marketplace price.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, the Beauty Myth. Learn the beauty secrets of the goddess next door in this action-packed Isis series adventure. Get Isis, the Beauty Myth at online booksellers everywhere today.
Better get the coleslaw, y'all, cause we're having us a barbecue. Reality star Danger, also known as Monica Leon, took to social media to talk about how her life would have been way better had she completely stayed away from black people.
I just completely stayed away from all black people, my life would have been way better. Like, way better. If I had just married a nice white boy from my neighborhood growing up, or from my church, and lived in the suburbs and finished college, yeah, I'd probably be a doctor or a lawyer, and I probably would have had a totally normal, wonderful life without any drama at all, without any abuse at all. Like, I could have just found a nice person and married them, and they wouldn't have been black, and my life would have been awesome. I wouldn't have been in the hospitals, I wouldn't have been in the jails or the prisons, I wouldn't have gotten attacked, and 100% of the people who attacked me were black. 100% of them were black. 100% of the people that I've had to fight were black. 100% of the people that watch that show that are already, with just being on social media again, are. And you know, what's interesting about this whole thing, right, is had I not been so empathetic to the black situation, and had I not really just known about the history and read so many books in college, I read Elaine Brown's book, she's a Black Panther. I read a lot of the Black Panthers books in college, and I was super upset about what was happening. And
now, Monica Leon is formerly known as Danger from the reality show For the Love of Ray J, and her basically being on that show shows me that she has some serious issues as related to her mental health. Now, this woman, Monica Leon, goes on to say in a post she made on social media that her life would have been way better if she would have stayed completely away from black people. Now, this entire statement is either completely racist or self-hating, because I really don't know the race of Monica Leon, but I know that this woman has some serious issues if she's got a tattoo on her face. And when I listen to Monica Leon, she definitely sounds a lot like the women I talk about in my book, The Woman Crisis. And when I look at her past as related to her background, she definitely is a woman who's in crisis. Now, this Monica Leon, when she went on social media, she's basically looking to get attention for herself by making this statement that her life would have been way better if she stayed completely away from black people. And this statement, again, is one that she's making just to get attention for herself, because as her life has fallen completely apart, I don't believe it was black people that caused her life to be in the bad state that it's in. No, I believe with Monica Leon, the problem is she wants to project all of her issues as related to the sad state of affairs of her life onto black people, and that's what many people who are racist or self-hating do. They want to project all of their failures in life onto black people because they don't want to take accountability or responsibility for the choices that they made in their life. Because when it comes to life, the only common denominator in your life is you, and a person is the sum of all the choices they make in their life. And when I look at a woman who goes out here and makes choices like looking to star on a reality show like For the Love of Ray J, which was basically a derivative of the minstrel show known as Flavor of Love, a show that basically showed a group of women basically fighting over a busted loser of a celebrity like Ray J for his attention and his affection, it basically shows me that this woman definitely was Arkham certified as related to her behavior even before she ever got involved with black people, because no smart woman would ever want to ever, one, star in a reality show that featured a loser like Ray J, because Ray J is a loser, because he was the guy who basically ruined Moesha with his D-Money character, and he was also featured in the sex tape with Kim Kardashian. So anybody, if you hear the name Ray J, you know that this guy is at the bottom of the barrel of Hollywood, and is basically the Pookie of Black Hollywood. So starring in a show with this dude and thinking that this was going to take you somewhere, that in and of itself was a bad decision, but it didn't mean that black people ruined your life. No, it meant that this woman made a bad choice, to get involved on this show, and wants to go out here and blame black people for her problems. No, it wasn't black people who messed up this woman's life. It was a series of her bad choices. And what's really sad is that this woman never is taking a look at herself and doing any self-reflection to see that she is the one who made the choices to get involved with toxic people regardless of race, because this goes beyond race. No, this woman basically was out here making a series of bad choices. But what's really sad is that as she's gotten older, she doesn't want to take accountability for those choices. And because she doesn't want to take accountability for those choices, she basically wants to sit here and say, oh, she would have had a better life with white people. But the whole problem is that she can't see that it's her perception of self that causes her to attract all of these toxic people to her. And she would have been attracting toxic people, whether they be black or white. And I talk about this in my book, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, that women are who they attract. And again, basically what this woman would have attracted in a white social circle would have been the white version of Pookie, because it's her low self-esteem and low sense of self that lead to her getting involved with these type of toxic individuals. It's her low self-esteem and low self-worth that leads to her getting involved with people at the bottom of society. It's her low self-esteem and low self-worth that have her out here getting involved with these kinds of people. But she wants to sit there and talk about, oh, if she had stayed away from black people, her life would have been better. No, I guarantee you this woman's life would not have been better. No, she would have been out here in white social circles, out here with Lester and Bubba, and getting involved with Lester and Bubba as related to their meth labs and their other types of illegal enterprises. She would have been involved with those kind of guys and would have possibly been on a reality show with a washed-up white celebrity like Danny Bonaducci, because, again, the common denominator when it comes to many of these dysfunctional women is them. And since that common denominator is them, they basically are the sum of all of the choices that they make. But this woman wants to, again, deflect from her choices of getting involved with bad black people by saying it would have been better if she stayed completely away from black people. No, if she had gone and had some high self-esteem, she would have gravitated to social circles of quality black men and black women, and possibly could have had that better life. But she didn't want that better life because she didn't believe that she was deserving of that better life. No, when it comes to a lot of women who have deep self-hatred, low self-esteem, and poor self-worth, they basically consider black to be guys like Pookie and Ray Ray at the bottom of society, and they get involved with guys from the bottom of society, and again, get involved with guys from the bottom of society, not because they love those guys, it's because they don't like themselves, and they don't believe that they deserve a man of character. don't believe they deserve a man of character and don't even want a man of character, because what's going to happen with a man of character is he's going to have standards, he's going to have rules, he's going to set order for that woman. And women like this one don't really want that order or that structure. They don't want that structure or that order because in many cases they didn't have a father in their life. And since they didn't have that father in their life to provide them with a structure and a model for manhood, what they do is go looking for these street dudes, one, looking for love, and one, looking for a guy they can get power and control over. That's the kind of guys they go looking for. And as they go looking for these guys, they basically make a mess of their lives. And then once they make that mess of their lives, what they want to do is blame the black man. But you can't blame the black man, or as this woman wants to do, blame all black people for the complete mess of your life, because the complete mess of this life this woman has is reflected in the tattoo that this woman put on her face. I mean, this woman is a woman who is, as I see it, has low impulse control, low lack of critical thinking, and just acts impulsively and emotional. And as she acts impulsively and emotional, what she does is never really think about the consequences of her actions, and that's shown in the statement she makes, where she wants to sit there and tell us her life would have been better had she completely stayed away from black people. No, this woman's life would have been a wreck had she had been with white people. Her life would have been a wreck with Hispanic people. Her life would have been a wreck with Asian people. Her life would have been a wreck with Arab people. Her life would have been a wreck because her whole perception of self is messed up, and she would have gravitated towards the Pookies and Ray Rays of those communities. She would have gravitated towards the Pookies and Ray Rays of those communities at the bottom of society, and she would have been a complete mess because of the dysfunctional foundation that she had as a child. And now that she's older, from what I've seen, that she's got these mental health issues, she's homeless right now, allegedly, and is basically, her life is a complete wreck. Her life is a complete wreck. And again, what she wants to do is go out here and still follow the paradigm of white supremacy instead of looking at the paradigm of failure that she has basically followed to the letter, that has led to her life turning into the complete wreck that it is right now. This woman, again, can't blame black people for her poor choices. I mean, this show, For the Love of Ray J, was not owned by black people. No, yeah, they got a white guy, a black guy like Ray J at the front as the face of the show, but that show basically was run by white producers and was all about exploiting black people and making mockery of black people by having these women chase this loser. And again, only women who were losers would go on a show like this, or that minstrel show Flavor of Love. And what this woman wants to say is her life would have been better had she went out here and stayed away from black people. No, it was the kind of black people you wanted to get involved with. You didn't want to get involved with quality black people because you didn't want to be in a place where you had to deal with rules and structure and order and standards. No, this woman didn't want to deal with that type of that foundation. She wanted to go out here and live this lavish lifestyle with these celebrities, wanted to live this high-class life, and wanted to be a reality star, and thought being a reality star would lead to a springboard to a career in the entertainment industry. But when it comes to the reality star is, again, a short-term exposure that does not lead to a long-term career, because in order to make it in entertainment, you have to have some sort of talent or skill that you can do. And sadly, this woman, Monica Leon, didn't have any sort of talent or skill outside of that pretty face, those double D's on her chest, and that big juicy backside. and that atomic waste reactor between her legs. And sadly, she thought she could go out here and use those things to basically make herself into a star. And as she thought she could, again, go hopping from bed to bed, looking to participate in nuclear fusion with these guys as she dropped the skid mark Jagaki thong and allowed these guys to put a carbon rod in the atomic waste reactor for a taste of the waste from the special place. All she got was the spirits and DNA of deeply troubled men like a Ray J or a Flavor Flav inside of her. And those spirits and DNA of those men basically tore at her soul. And as they tore at her soul, what happened to this woman is this woman basically wound up with this series of mental health issues. Again, because many feminist indoctrinated women just don't understand that when you have sex with these men, it's not just a physical act, it's a spiritual act. And basically, that spiritual act basically destroys this woman's whole mindset because she can't really bond with a man and can't bond because these spirits are tearing at her soul. And that's basically what has this woman out here participating in this just deeply disturbing episode of behavior, deeply disturbing episode of this behavior, where she basically participates in female nature, where she doesn't want to take accountability or responsibility for all of the decisions that she made to get and put this tattoo on her face, which basically devalued her social marketplace value lower than a $5 food stamp. And I dare to say $100 food stamp without the book, because once a man sees you got tattoos on your body, you're basically done. And when he sees that you've got a tattoo on your face, and you're more than done. And when he hears that you're a single mom, you're basically finished at that point. And when it comes to this Monica Leon, she's basically finished at this point. And now that we know that she's basically out here participating in anti-black language, we know not to deal with her. We know not to deal with her because if she's going to go out here and speak against black people and talk bad about us, then we know to leave this woman alone. And I would have left her alone even before this because, again, a woman is a reflection of the company she keeps, and if she's keeping company with low seed dusties like Ray J, and yes, Ray J is a dusty because he basically made his career leeching off his sister, then going out here and participating in sex tapes. He's the bottom of the barrel, and if she will get involved with bottom of the barrel dudes, then she's a bottom of the barrel female. And many guys have to, again, understand this. It's not about how she looks, it's about her values and her character. And I would have stayed away from this kind of woman. And again, that's not racial. I'm looking at the content of her character, not the color of her skin. Looking at the content of her character, I would have stayed completely away from this woman and made my life way better. I mean, that's what I had to do in 1989 because I ran into these kind of girls in high school, and I made my life way better by staying away from this type of toxic girl back in high school because I know they're going to grow up to become a toxic woman like this chick is. And I know that this kind of Arkham certified chick, the only thing you can do to protect yourself from this kind of woman is to just basically stay away from them, because this is a textbook example of the type of female predator that I talk about in other books I've done, such as Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, Stop Simping in the Workplace, Stop Simping in Cyberspace. This is the kind of woman you want to stay away from. And again, she goes out here, makes this statement on social media, says her life would have been better if she stayed completely away from black people. Well, black people are staying completely away from you if they've got some sense, because they see that this woman, one, again, has poor impulse control, has no critical thinking, acts impulsively by that facial tattoo, and makes impulsive statements, never thinking about the consequences of her actions. And that's not a woman who will help meet your needs in a relationship, because she's already shown that she can't hold a relationship because she goes out here and looks to monkey branch through hypergamy, but is now fallen out of the tree. And now that she's fallen out of the tree, she wants to blame black people. She wants to blame people, hoping this will get her clicks and views and some sympathy PayPal or Cash App donations. That's what she's thinking she's going to get out of this deal. She's thinking she's going to get all sorts of sympathy, Cash App donations, and other sorts of attention. I mean, this chick thinks that she's going to, again, open a door for herself, but nobody's going to open a door because a woman named Danger clearly is a danger to people. And again, most men, they don't want to get involved with Danger because they see how dangerous she is as a woman. Now, if you want to learn what motivates women like this to participate in this kind of dysfunctional behavior, you can pick up my book, The Woman Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Woman Crisis at other online booksellers like Draft to Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And men, if you want to learn how to identify this type of female predator and how to avoid this type of female predator, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. And you can learn how to identify this type of female predator on the job and avoid her in my book, Stop Simping in the Workplace. And you can learn how to avoid this type of woman in my book, Stop Simping in Cyberspace. And all of these books, along with other books I've done, like Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, which explains why women like this will be single for the rest of their lives, all of those books are available on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. They are also available at other online booksellers like Draft to Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. Now, if you want to see me be able to make more videos like this, taking bust downs like this to the barbecue, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback. From the author of the critically acclaimed book, The Man Crisis, comes The Woman Crisis. Learn why so many women have become lost in their quest to have it all in The Woman Crisis. Get your copy of The Woman Crisis in paperback at Amazon.com and online booksellers today.
Now available for the first time in paperback, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. Learn all the reasons why so many Black women can't find a husband and why 70% of Black women are single. Get your copy of Why 70% of Black Women Are Single on Amazon.com today.
Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.